You would want to go to chief of police with a question about that. That's not something I'm capable of answering right now.
Not policy.
Again, no comment on.
Might I make a
that.
suggestion that our interim township manager have a conversation with our police chief to be able to best answer that question? Thank you. Sure.
And it's not because I don't want to answer you. I'm just your basic control officer. I'm not involved.
You can answer, you can.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Solicitor. One thing to report, the board held an executive session prior to the meeting tonight concerning personnel matters. That's it, thank you.
Any questions for the solicitor? Any comment from the public? Managers.
Just quickly, in the short time I've been here, I've gotten to meet and work closely with your staff, Lonnie Yoder, Tom, our roadmaster, our chief, Cindy O'Donnell, and others. I want to convey to you folks that these folks, in my opinion, possess excellent technical skills and work ethic. They have allowed me to hit the ground running, so to speak. But I thought you folks should know that, in my opinion, you're well served by your staff. Thank you.
You agree?
Comment or manager? Planning Commission.
Ernie Schmidt, Vice Chairman, Planning Commission. Our Chairman, Chuck Geiser, is on a business trip today, so I'm here. We have not only Planning Commission, but the meeting was held on December 20th, 2018. We had a meeting of the Lower Frederick Township Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee meeting. And these minutes are, I'll give a general outline of the minutes. Meeting was called to order at 5:55 p.m. It was originally scheduled for 6 p.m. First thing with the meeting, there was an introduction of the new manager, Frederick, and our new solicitor, Andrew Pellard. It was good that they both attended. Along at that meeting was, I believe, Chuck Lighting was there. I don't think the other members of the board came in at that time. We were there later. So we started that meeting, and it was a general introduction of the municipal comprehensive plan that was led by our chairman, Mr. Geiser, and Crystal Gilchrist was there to assist. There was, after that, item number 2 was an introduction of the steering committee members, and then after that, number 3, review of the Lower Frederick Township comprehensive plan proposed scope of work, and that was a document dated that date, December 20th, that was presented by Julia Detweiler, Montgomery County Planning Commission Community Planner. Items covered was the scope of the planning group of this has been categorized into 7 titled phases: kickoff, analysis, public engagement part 1, synthesis of planning, engagement part 2, draft, final plan, and 7, adoption. It was noted that that every item should be looked at and establish goals and a possible ratification of each. The general discussion followed. Also, there was a comment by Mr. Frederick, Supervisor, about the members should be endorsed and voted upon by the Board of Supervisors. And the meeting adjourned at approximately 7 p.m. After that, we had the Planning Commission meeting, which was called at 7:10. There was a public comment that was, well, actually, we started into the Melbourne Hills project. We had talked about that issue there, talked about the vacancy of a member that had resigned from the Planning Commission, and then we went into the Melbourne Hills discussion. Chuck Geiser, Chairman, went on, gave a presentation by PowerPoint And then the project was represented by John Kennedy, a planner, and Ben Goldthrope, the owner of Select Properties. We had an extensive discussion about the issues of the lot sizes and what was required. The solicitor had advised that certain issues should be looked at for legal implications and how to resolve certain issues. There was a sketch plans presented by Phil Smith, who is our Secretary of the Planning Commission, and those concepts were put forward for Melbourne Hill. And Mr. Kennedy, the planner for the developer, was going to take a look back at them. Also, we had a presentation of the Montco 2040 Municipal Implementation Grant Program. Discussion was on that. The has to be submitted by March of 2019. There's approximately $1.5 million there, competitive grant program. We can get up to about $200,000 on that. There was a discussion about various things we have that could be done, like sidewalks up at Cedar Hill and some other issues. And with that, we had a pretty good meeting with a lot of discussion. And the meeting adjourned, I guess it was approximately 8:45 p.m. And that's just an abbreviated review of both meetings that we had that night.
Thank you. Any comment? Public comment? Not, we'll move on. Parks and Rec Board.
Pam Wright, Vice Chair. Just a few public announcements because of the need for this meeting tonight. Our meeting is next week on the 14th of this month. We are also, I believe, on the schedule to present our first project review at your next work session on the 29th, which is the CDS Park Improvement Project. We've been working on the costing and finalizing the plans. We have a final full drawing of the final concept for that whole park, and we're excited to be able to present that at the end of the month. Thank you.
I will move on to old business.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me.
Yes.
I did forget one thing that was important. Just to let the public know, and I know it will be advertised, our comprehensive meetings will be held, and on the 17th is our next scheduled meeting of January. That meeting will start at 6 o'clock for the comprehensive plan. I didn't go into all the kickoffs of what we're going to be starting with. That'll be our official kickoff, that meeting that night. That meeting will start at 6. That meeting should end around 7 o'clock. And with that, our planning commission meeting will start. We might run a little bit late, that happens. We'll take a little break before the planning commission meeting starts. But we still have a lot of work to do, and again, I abbreviated the minutes, but we have to pick certain things, we have to have a kickoff to get things moving. So I just wanted to make sure that people hear.
Ernie, just to clarify, I think in an earlier meeting, Chuck Geiser may have said that those meetings are going to go from 6 to 7:30. So is that correct, or are they in the...
I think we're looking at probably a plan that if they do go later, they'll go later, and we'll just have to start a little later with the planning commission.
The reason I'm asking is because when you advertise your meetings for the year, have they been advertised for planning commission for 7 or for 7:30? 7:30. So.
All right, then it'll be 7:30. But there was some discussion about starting, but I know we're going to start at 6 with the comprehensive plan.
Okay, just because for the public, they need to know it's going to be 7 or 7. So it's going to be 7:30.
That's when we advertised 6 for the comprehensive
Comprehensive
and
plan.
7:30 for the regular.
Okay, that'll work. As long as we're going to go that way. We'll start first with that, then we'll go into our planning commission meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
A question regarding the comprehensive plan. How was that created, and when were those members chosen, and who chose those members?
As I noted, as the board addressed the planning commission appointments, is my recommendation to the board is that the board go ahead and appoint those members of the steering committee. Now, they'll appoint certain people, and then also give some direction to them. Meanwhile, I think there's some, there's a steering committee that was formed, I think, by the PC, and they're just gathering some information at this point, I think, kicking things off. So it'll be formalized in the very near future.
And how were those members today, like for the Parks Board, where we have to, send an email to the manager stating why we would like to be on the Parks Board?
Yeah.
Was that how those members were
I
selected? or-
cannot speak to what happened in the past, but I agree that's the way it's going to go moving forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Pam Hartman, Spring Mountain. I also have a question about the comprehensive plan. I was an attendee of the October presentation of what a comprehensive plan is, and I heard within a month, I guess by the next month, it was a go. And I just wondered, when was that voted on as a go? And if so, what was the budget that's established for it?
We did vote on it, and it may be in one of those minutes that haven't been approved yet, I would guess. But in terms of the budget, Montgomery County Planning Commission is providing most of the support, I believe virtually all of the support to that. So we're getting support from them. And a lot of the work will be done by residents, so that is again, I'll defer to the Planning Commission, you're on the steering committee. It's my understanding a lot of the work will be done by volunteer residents on task forces, so I would encourage you to come to the meetings to learn more about how they're going to proceed. You said the kickoff is on the 17th.
Yes, on the 17th, at start at 16th. Also at that meeting, I did suggest to the people who were interested in the audience to do a sign-up sheet. And I know there were some people that did sign up to be members of that steering committee. Naturally, they would all have to eventually be appointed and approved. And I'm hoping that everybody that serves on that has some form of a residential requirement or a business requirement within Lower Frederick Township. That's the minimum that I would want to accept. I can't imagine somebody coming from outside and wanting to try to do something with our comprehensive plan. And the biggest thing that I fear is not getting enough respondents to be interested in this. We discussed different strategies like I read off about, how we're going to get people interested, where are they going to come from. It's going to be a busy year. There's a lot of things going on. And it's tough today to get people motivated. And I hope we can get people motivated to serve with us. Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Yes.
So Sherry Schwenker, Schwenk Road, I was just going to respond to Marla's earlier comment. I have the agenda here from November 27th is when the comprehensive plan was on the agenda. I guess it was in the minutes, but it wasn't done.
Pam, did you finish?
Yes.
Okay, we move on. Old business. Discussion on the sewer plant buildings.
We have this evening, I believe, John Colton.
Yeah, right here.
Here.
Yes, right.
John?
Yes.
Floor is yours.
Well, I'm not sure. I was called in September by, this is Ken Device,
Yes.
to do a noise survey or review of issues that are existing at wastewater treatment plant. And so I arrived there, I did my... I'm sorry. Really? Pardon me? Sure. Just wrap this or...
Well, you might need that one out there.
Oh, I got you, okay. Anyway, sorry. Ken Device called me in September to come by the wastewater treatment plant to evaluate the noise situation and to try to evaluate what was causing the problems, what equipment noise was the issue. So I work with a company called R&M Equipment Company, and I've been involved with industrial noise control and specifically blowers, which I believe is the issue here, since 1983. So I've done a lot of these different types of reviews and studies and what have you. So when I came out to the site, I kind of, with my noise meter, walked around the site, listened to the entire plant. In my review of the installation, the issues that I found there had to do with the blower intakes. There were some aeration blowers on there, and they're not run continuously, but they seem to be the main component of generating noise at the treatment plant. So the day I was there was kind of a sloppy day, so I couldn't necessarily go off the grounds, I'm going to say, of the wastewater treatment plant. So, but I did measure all the noise levels and what have you, and at that time, no one really knew if there was an ordinance with respect to what the noise level could be, and usually you have that, there's usually a number for daylight hours and then evening hours. But in my general observations and the little report that I provided to Ken, and I copied Terry on today, was that generally speaking, the noise levels weren't bad at all. I mean, they were fairly low. But again, what I hear was the aeration blowers and the intake of the aeration blowers. So, and that's really what I found out, in my opinion, was the issue. So at that time, they had asked me to do a 24-hour study for a given period, like a 3-day period, what have you, because there was complaints about noise from the neighbors. And those complaints would occur, I guess, at nighttime, what have you. So while I don't necessarily think you have to really do that, I offer them a proposal to do so. So that's my last, I've only been here in September. I was only there once, so I haven't been back to the plant, and so I'm not sure what the status of the issues are, and but I'm here to kind of help out and see if you guys have questions. You know, I have an evaluation that I could do on a 24-hour basis. I'm not necessarily sure that's the absolute best thing to do. And again, because I've been to many places like this where I come in and I identify the problem, and then I come up with a solution to the problem. So instead of just doing a report or a test or a study, I actually try to come up with a solution and provide that solution. It's usually the most cost-effective way to handle it. So, but that's where I'm at. I mean, I don't know if there is an ordinance with respect to the township. And so, based on my initial review out there, and my experience at other townships and what have you, I had to do tests like this, I believe that you're probably very close to being compliant, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have an issue. So that's where I'm at, and so if you guys have questions, somebody has questions they'd like to ask me about what I've heard or what I've seen or what have you, or what I could do, I'd be glad to try to answer those questions.
John, I've been with it from when this started.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had seen your proposal.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I wrapped those silencers.
Yeah.
Have you been over there since?
No.
Okay. If you did take a noise level, then maybe you ought to go back and take it up. It took them down a little.
Yeah.
But I think you wanted to wrap the pipes too. I did not wrap the pipes.
Yeah.
Only the silencers.
The ideal situation when I looked at that installation was that you know, you have piping from the aeration blowers come outside the building and then eventually land in silencers on an upper level. That's really not the way to do it. Okay. I mean, because what happens is the noise from that blower radiates immediately into that piping. So how much is coming out there, I can't tell you exactly because I really couldn't climb down in there and measure that noise level, but I can tell you that there's noise radiating off that pipe. The ideal situation is to have a silencer right there at the blower instead of up on the roof. So that's why I said wrapping the piping. At this point, I don't know if you could, I mean, to me that might be the most cost-effective solution, is to wrap the piping. But ideally, if you know, I was involved and someone came to me and said, what would you do here? I would have that silencer right at the blower inlet, inside the building, not up on the upper level. And I think that, you know, again, being over there and listening to all the noise, if that wasn't there.
But then, with that being inside the building, is it going to take on too much heat?
Well, I mean,
They're rotary compressors.
Yeah,
They're
fine.
not
Yeah,
the regular cylinder.
yeah, I know.
Which make a lot more noise, those rotaries.
Yeah, well, again, it's, you know, there's things that could have been done to make it quiet.
Well, yeah, I said that the silencers should have been down in that
Yes.
hole.
Yeah,
Not, it's still gonna get air.
yeah,
And it's still,
Yeah, I mean, it
instead
might-
of coming out like it did,
Yeah.
and then the pipe going up 15 feet,
yeah.
and then 90 back out with the silencer,
Yeah.
why didn't they put it down a 90 out of the wall and then the
I
silencer?
totally
Yes.
agree with it. I totally agree with it. That's what, I would have recommended right from the get-go, do that. Yeah, because, again, but no, with respect to ventilation, if you needed ventilation, that's not that complicated to do. I mean, having a louver on the wall, maybe a ventilation fan. I believe the blowers had fans on inside there. I thought they did.
There's 2 ventilation blowers to bring air in.
Okay.
Correct, Fred?
Yes. Yeah.
And they're big.
Yeah. Well, depending on, the amount of ventilation that's in there, I can take a look at that and find out if it's sufficient for the application. But, again, I think, getting that back into that room might be a whole lot better and solve the problem.
Okay, Mr. Chair. My understanding is the township is geared up to resolve this problem.
Yeah.
It's solved, as noted.
Yeah.
However, my job is to protect the township. So does your company get involved in litigation at all?
Not necessarily. No.
Has your company ever?
Not that I can recall.
Nobody in your company has ever been determined to be an expert by a court?
Oh, to be an expert?
Yeah.
I can't, no, honestly, I can't say, consider being an expert. And with respect to that type of application, I've never had to testify in court.
So right now, you have a proposal before the township to
Well,
do
my
some additional
proposal,
work.
my proposal was based on what Ken asked me for. And what I try to do is say that I think it's more cost effective to analyze the problem and come up with a solution to the problem versus do a test, and come up with a study and say, okay, here it is, here's your study. Now you have to spend all this money to take care of this problem.
And so does your September 21st,
Yeah.
2018 letter, is that?
It was just strictly for the test and based on my observation of what I thought we could do to start to, what I hear is the problem is the index. And I thought, well, let's look at what can we do to address those index.
And you have a baseline reading
Yeah.
presently,
Yeah.
and you would do a baseline, or a reading post
Oh, yeah,
the effort.
absolutely, sure. Yeah. But I mean, with respect to expert testimony, I've been involved with doing this since 1983. So, I mean, I'm not here to sell you a bill of goods, I'm here to try to solve a problem. So, and when I looked at the problem, I could identify the problem immediately. But you're at a point where, in my opinion, you're at a point now where you just can't make that change. If it would have been addressed earlier, it would have been a different ballgame.
So your recommendation to the township in order to solve the problem is to do what?
Well, I mean, it's, again, you have to look at, I try to evaluate based on what's the most cost-effective way to take care of the problem. First of all, I need to know what the noise ordinance is. That's the first thing I'd like to find out. And what are you trying to achieve? From there, we can look at the facility and say, how much